Hello. Uh, this is a bit of a different video than what I usually do. I'm going to be doing a tier list for Cold One String C.z.G of V, which is a fighting game for anyone that doesn't know. Pretty popular. There's soon to be... There's like in a couple days, I think, there's going to be the final like tournament thing. With me, I have... do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. Some of you may know me as the most mediocre Guilty Gear player in the world.
Aren't you like number
My
21?
According to the Shoryuken rankings, yeah, sure. But, we stay in humble. But, yeah, I've spent a lot of time playing Cold One ever since, pretty much since the Ronic Bypass came out.
Yeah.
Back when that, kind of revived the series, you know what I mean? I've been going in on it.
Yeah, that was a big one. Like, it got in a lot of new people. I think I tried a little bit of 1 and 2 because that got them on like a Steam sale one time, but yeah, Sonic Bypass is where it got big.
They were selling those games for like $1.50.
I know, it's crazy. they're fucking broken as hell, but they're pretty fun. They have a lot of the the basic stuff you see in the later games. But current game is C.z.G. Pretty big roster compared to the first game. We've gone from 6 characters all the way up to how many is this? Like 36 or something? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
5, 6, 7,
that sounds right.
12, 13, 26 plus 31.
I don't know.
31.
30 something. Yeah, 31. That's 30 plus something. There we go.
Yeah, and with Vestigial like free just around the corner. Obviously, pretty excited for that game. This is sort of a final tier list. Like, the final updates come out. Final tournament's going to be happening. Let's rank the characters. And I'm going to be deferring heavily to Melody here, because we both play the game, but you're more fighting game knowledgeable. So I'll just kind of have vague impressions and stuff I've heard, but you'll be able to provide some technical stuff. And we talked about this before as well. So, first character, Avarice. Where would you put Avarice?
So Avarice is like, when you typically think of a fighting game protagonist, you think of like very, very kind of average, like all around, pretty much good at like a little bit of everything, not too many strong weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, it's kind of Avarice. Avarice doesn't have
Avarice is average.
Yeah, average. But yeah, so he doesn't really have a lot of matchups where he's like it's heavily favored towards him, and he doesn't really have a lot that.
I think that's kind of historically been the case as well, right?
Yeah, Avarice has kind of like always been that way. He's good enough. He's got decent enough damage to carry him through like most matchups.
Fairly At least typical grappler, I think. From what I've heard.
He has a command throw, but I think his most like defining move is the little Rasengan move he has, except it's like shadowy power.
Yeah.
So the Rasengan move is like...
And obviously it was the Cold One power when he was Gravis Memphis in the first game.
Right. But he's got the Rasengan, and that, like, it moves him forward and is jump cancelable with armor on it. It's a pretty strong move, right? Because, like, both armor and being able to cancel it at any point is like, it's pretty versatile. And it's also plus on block if he just lets it rock and he spaces it. So that move can be really annoying to some people, especially like mid-rangers like Peacock or Chayne.
Right.
But his mix-up isn't anything spectacular, so most of the time when he's like cheating neutral but using that move, he's like he's in, right? But he's not that like the most threatening when he's in.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, all that is kind of just in support.
I would
of this
say just with how like just with this like.
I think he'd make a good
average. So yeah, we can base people around Avarice.
Okay, Blaze Cardio. People are really starting to pick up on this character. He was underrated for a long time. I quite enjoy him. The heat meter thing is like it can get.
Okay. the heat meter is pretty fucking obtuse. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really stupid to use it. The amount it charges per whatever moves you do and how much it releases is like totally arbitrary, and like scales with some weird. It like scales with your combo.
Yeah, I saw a video about that.
And so people just like they saw this character and decided he was a lot of work, which he wound up being.
Yeah.
And he is a lot of work, but people have recently been finding like combo routes that keep him as high as possible with like
without overheating.
very little risk of overheating or like overheating. Yeah. So he's really good now. Pressure's really scary when he's high BPM. His damage gets higher too. His combo routes, like even within themselves, like he has 5 different states. He has 0, 10, or 100, and they increase and you go up 20, you
Yes,
get to
yeah.
100, you overheat.
Mhm.
Even within those, his combo routes change, so you have to know a lot of different.
You kind of
Uh,
have to be very
yeah.
adaptable when playing him.
Yeah, you got to be super aware of what combo you got to use on what character with how much heat you have.
Playing is like fucking reading a spreadsheet.
Yeah, it takes like a fucking like int J to play this character or something.
But he
He's
definitely has.
definitely
He's
yeah.
like when you see a good Blaze Cardio player, they're fucking good. And obviously Manifest Z, from the is repping the good
Oh
old
yeah,
U of
we've
K. You
never
know.
had a UK, well, not a UK player, but a Blaze Cardio player in World Finals before.
Mhm.
But Manifest Z is the kind of guy who's he's really putting in the work for this character. He's kind of the one that's leading him across the world. He's kind of the only one that's really doing very well.
Yeah, I hope he
And
does
so
well.
yeah.
It'd be good to see.
And who's he playing against? He's playing against Hashi Clair, right?
Yeah,
No,
we can get that
no,
up if you like.
he's meta combo. He's playing against meta combo.
Let me find
That's
it because
pretty
you
interesting.
sent me the bracket when it got revealed. Let me open this up.
Yeah, it's pinned in our messages.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, he's the second match against Netacombo's Hyrax.
Okay. As far as I know, that's a pretty even matchup. Do you
I
want to
mean,
show
yeah.
the bracket on screen?
Sure. Yeah. So first up, we have the much memed number 1 Totes G Bosch versus number 32 NB Pock. This is like peak
It's kind
fucking
of unbelievable that
yeah.
NB made it before, and it's so unfortunate that even though he's been doing it with Pot, he has to fight Toast G first match.
He's losing. Like he is losing this. Obviously it's double elimination, so I mean it says single elimination here. That was a mistake, but in initial image, but yeah. So he might have something of a chance in losers bracket, but I think it was determined that he's up against like the loser of this fucking Bosch mirror match down here. So he has to beat a Bosch at all to proceed, which is just completely brutal.
I know, it's so miserable for him. Poor guy. I I wish NB the best, but it's not looking too good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've got Manifest Z, the Blaze cardio player who's been doing it all, versus
Yeah.
Neta Combo, the like single Japanese Hyrax. So it's like it's two character specialists here. It's gonna be an interesting match. And as far as I know, Hyrax B cardio is actually fairly
I wouldn't know about that, but
fairly 5-5, fairly even. So it could go either way.
we could look at this afterwards maybe. I don't want to go too in depth on it when it's the tier list.
Yeah,
It could
no,
be
I
like a
just
bonus
wanted
section.
to talk about
Yeah.
just wanted to talk about B cardio.
Okay. So
I would say he's definitely above Avarice. He's not like top tier or even like there's like 2 subsections within high tier, and Blaze Cardio is in the second one, but he's definitely a tier above Avarice.
I mean, I could make an extra tier called like A plus or something if you want. I don't know.
No,
how
it'll be
it is.
alright. We don't need to.
Yeah, I think that's a good place for him for now. And we'll rearrange the within the tiers to make them maybe.
Right.
What do you say about Bosch?
What is there? Yeah, there's not really anything to even say about this guy that hasn't been said before. He's really broken. He's almost got the best version of every tool in the game. He's got crazy mix-up. He's got it all, dude. The
what
only
were they
thing
thinking?
I'm like, what were they thinking?
Patch after patch and fucking nothing. Dude's still dominant. The game's over, like 2.5 years old. What are they doing? Like, obviously it'd be too little too late, even if they did change it now, but, like...
It's fortunate that even though Bosch hasn't really gotten much worse since he came out, people have gotten slightly better at playing against him.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. It's, again, just to have a look at this again, there's only, like, what, 5 or 6 Bosches in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm not seeing a 6th one. Like, it's surprisingly diverse.
It used to be a lot more. There used to be a lot more Bosch players, but
people are finding the tools they can use to get around him, learning the tiny weaknesses where they are. I think you were telling me something about like not great range on his normals or something.
Yeah, he's fairly low range on his normals. It's just his movement that's spectacular.
Yeah, and movement is king really when it comes to this stuff, as you've told me.
Yeah, a lot of times the high movement characters are the ones that wind up at the top. But Bosch is Bosch. He's the best character. There's no even like contest. You know, he doesn't have any losing matchups.
Yeah.
He barely
at best,
even has one or two even matchups.
Right. At best, we can just hope that he's not this fucking broken and vestigial egg free. But it would be hard. Do you think it would be hard to make him not broken without just completely changing him as a character, or do you think they could do it?
All they would have to do for Bosch is change some numbers, some frame data. Pretty much all they need to make him like fair. He's just too overtuned right now.
Yeah. So you could have these tools, but just dampen back.
Make them weaker. Yeah.
Okay. Buster, historically pretty good, if I'm not mistaken.
Buster's always been good since like the first version of Cold Mountain.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about Buster's damage, and his damage has stayed really crazy, even with like all of the new characters, where the devs might be like, "Oh, how do we make this one better than last?" But Buster has always stayed one of the highest damage characters.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. I think he's supposed to be like him and Chayne, but Buster more so is supposed to be like the beginner friendly, like jump in and just have fun mashing characters if you're a new
you
game.
can do that. You can do that with Buster. And actually, what makes him good at jumping, funny that you mentioned that, is that a lot of his jump-ins are shots from the gun. Yes. And so because they're like projectiles that come from him, it's really hard to find a tool to anti-air him when he's like firing the bullet diagonally.
Right.
Following it. So it can be difficult to deal with that, and that's one of his biggest tools to help him in neutral. He is not an ignorant character like some of the other ones, but he does have like the neutral tools to get in very safe, annoying ways.
Yeah.
And also in his block string, Buster's the only character in the game that can do 6 lows in a true block string.
You explained block strings to me yesterday. Okay, yeah, I remember what they are.
A block string is what you do to the opponent when they're blocking. Usually it's pretty safe. Sometimes they exist to reset pressure. Okay. It's a route you do on block to not leave yourself unsafe. Buster's the only character in the game that can do 6 lows in a block string, which means he's able to safely pressure the opponent and do a pretty strong low throw mix-up type game.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I find Buster pretty fun. We'll get to my main later, but I do enjoy Buster. Definitely very
He's good. He's great. He's very safe. Good damage. Because you don't have to think about routing like B cardio, I would say he's a little better, but he's definitely not. He's not stopping Bosch.
Yeah. So top of A for now seems good.
Yeah.
Chayne, I wish he was a little better. As the other protagonist, he's like good. He's not bad.
Yeah.
But...
So the things with like a lot of the Cold 1-1 characters is, for the most part, they haven't been touched much since the first version of the game. Like, they haven't had a lot of fundamental changes.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Buster is, obviously, in Vestigial Egg Free, there's Cold Buster, got revealed recently. He's the cold one of that game. I'm interested to see how they make him differ as that character, because I don't think this game's really done, like, versions of, like, like an evil Ryu type thing. Obviously, we have Poppycock, as a Peacock clone, but I'm interested to see how Cold Buster is different.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I feel like they could either like have him be like a different Buster or have him be like a different character entirely. That'd be kind of cool. Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's not been much footage, but
Chayne is like he's pretty dated. So when they added Z-Pair, he just doesn't have a kit that's able to make the most use of it.
There's like really no good combination with that.
It's hard to, like, his tools are good. There isn't much wrong with them. Like, the most standout thing about Chayne is how good his frame traps are, which lets him do either low or throw. But both his long range low and his command throw have the same startup animation.
Okay.
That makes it
next
really hard to tell even from how far you are out.
Yeah.
But the problem here is that he doesn't really have a Z pair move to make that a safe mix-up. When you do that, they're both pretty slow, so they can like jump at you, they can try to frame trap you.
So
I
a lot more
don't want to say Chayne is too bad, but he is not the greatest, so you can probably go to B tier.
Okay. Do you think he's well? Okay, we can shuffle the tiers within themselves later. Clair. I don't know much about this character. It's one of those things where I think she's good. She seems good. Everything I hear about her seems good, but I've also heard people say she's kind of underwhelming.
Clair players make me so angry, dude. Clair players, they like watch Hashi do mix-ups on the stream, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do that. Pick me, pick me, pick me. I want to go next." So they pick up Clair, and they are just complete monkey. They don't know what they're doing at all. Mm-hmm. Clair players, it's not that Clair allows you to play a stupid way. Clair players are just brainlets for some reason. I don't know what the relationship is here between that. But Clair is absolutely not a character you can jump on and do like ABCD like type combos with. She requires you to know a lot of character specific combos from very specific situations.
Is that because of her movement with like the flight and all that?
Yeah, you have to create the best way to route into the best knockdown for you, because flying allows you to have some disgusting mix-up.
Yeah.
But it's like, for some reason,
that's the main thing I always see people pointing at.
Clair is really good. It's just there are no American Clair players doing anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, she's definitely very good. She's one of the hardest characters to block if you're able to successfully route into the right routes. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say she's probably better than Buster because her offense is so good.
Okay.
She's definitely very up there.
I fucking suck. I struggled in even like her story mode.
I don't like playing Clair. It's just something about like, I don't know, her jump-ins, her movement. I like being able to air dash instead of just fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's good.
Okay.
Dark Horse. Okay, so if we're taking K's word, right, Dark Horse is just terrible. Worst character. Can't beat Pock. Loses 10-0 to Pock. But we're actually rational human beings here. So.
I mean, everyone underplays their own character, to be fair. Except Bosch players, because they can't fucking deny. They're just like, yeah. Yeah, we're playing the broken character and we know it.
Yeah, at least they don't lie to themselves.
True.
But, so Dark Horse is... His neutral is butt water. He doesn't have very big conversions from neutral. Unless you get like a weird anti-air or something. And his range just isn't like that long to begin with. But Dark Horse is a very offense-oriented character. You're meant to go into to creep up on them and do like a low into like a really complicated sword setup.
Yeah, I've seen some fucking shit. The fucking length of these combos is ridiculous sometimes. Like, I know there are ways to get out of them depending on your character and depending on what he's doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, like...
Right.
I think it's happened to me. I've gone matched against a Dark Horse and I just got like 0 to death, and I'm like, okay.
Dark Horse can be that way. It's really... His combos are really cool, because when he throws a sword and they fall down, they have 3 hits. And these really good Dark Horse players are doing like variations, like within the combo, one sword is going to hit once, which sends them a certain way into the next one that's going to hit them 3 times. But it's really cool stuff. It's just that his only problem really is that his neutral isn't the best, which admittedly is pretty big.
Well, there's a lot you have to learn when playing him, right? Like, fucking... there was that meme where, like, with, like, Dark Horse wearing Bosch's lab coat, and he's, like, going to the lab. Like...
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
That was really good.
But, yeah, Dark Horse, he's a character that requires some time in the lab to play, but he's oppressive. even on like his combos are really long, right? And they leave you in a good position to loop like sword setups. But the sword setups themselves, he's still throwing like 3 or 4 mix-ups at you before you're actually able to get out of it.
Yeah. So I don't know. A, B.
He's definitely A. He's A tier.
Okay.
Below Dark Horse. Who does he beat above him? He beats B Cardio. B Cardio's defense kind of, but does he beat Buster? No, Buster's
No.
neutral's too good. He's just more stable than Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm. All right, Door. Definitely kind of annoying to play against.
And Door is just so hard to block because she's a Tri-Dash character. Tri-Dash
Yes.
is like one of the like strongest mix-ups you can like one of the best fundamental mix-up tools you can have.
For those who don't know, Tri-Dash is where instead of dashing, you kind of like partially glide upwards a little bit, right?
Yeah. So that's gonna allow her to do like a lot of overheads in a row and have that fundamental like, what will I stop Tri-Dashing and do a low instead, or like
Right.
throw you? When am I gonna reset pressure by doing a button and then Tri-Dashing in your face again?
And then her offense is strong on top of that. Like,
yeah, it's not like it's only the Tri-Dash either. She has good block strings and pressure after you're able to block it too.
mm-hmm.
But she doesn't have the movement tools that like some characters have. So because she can't run either, that leaves her taking a lot of risks in neutral.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So she loses to characters that have good defense and very strong neutral, which is a lot of like the top tiers and high tiers.
Mm-hmm.
So she's either top of B or like bottom of A.
Do you think she's better than Blaze?
I kind of don't. Just because B cardio is neutral is that much better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well we can put her at the bottom of this for now, and maybe move her later.
Okay.
S is
like
motherfucker. I hate this guy.
Yeah, I hate that guy too because like his defense is like insane. Right? People know S for doing like really annoying teleport mix-ups.
Yes, yeah.
But his defense is like kind of absurd too. He has a parry where if he parries you, well, it's a frame 1 parry to begin with, so match that shit on Wake Up all day. But if he parries you, he has a choice after that of where to teleport. He cancels his parry into teleport, so it's really annoying to keep this guy pinned down.
Oh yeah.
Especially like it makes like Grausam have a really hard time against him because she like eats the ball on top of you as soon as you're supposed to do a wake up. It makes Gruni have a hard time because he's like putting a projectile on top of you and Dare. He's very good against characters that are oppressive on offense, which is
quite a lot of characters.
Yeah, quite a lot of characters actually. His defense is really good. He can also cancel his backdash, which is already invincible, into the parry or a teleport or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his defense is just really good, and while he doesn't do that much damage. He's like so safe and so like.
I can't do shit to him when I'm fighting him. I feel like I say this about every character, but more so than many others, he's so annoying to fight.
Yeah, he's one of the only characters that has an outright answer to when Bosch knocks you down in the corner.
Do you mean the frame 1 thing you were saying?
Yeah, what he does is he backdashes into a teleport because like the timings at which Bosch's mix-ups hit you is like all covered by backdash to teleport invincibility.
So it's like a good option select.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most people would put him up here in this tier,
Yeah.
or at least here maybe. It depends on how much you think Bosch is about the others. I think with the stuff people are learning about him, the gap is shrinking slightly, so I would put him in the same tier as Bosch.
Yeah. Esk is definitely like he's good. His only real problem is that like I said, his damage is low, but his mix-ups are like fast enough and annoying enough to like kill people anyway.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yep. Oh,
definitely Esker.
Recent. Fuck. Speaking of characters up here, Gakumaru, also annoying to fight. The weird ass hitboxes. People have made videos about this. the fucking wall bounce shit, like...
Okay.
Interesting character.
So,
I like the concept, but goddamn do I hate fighting him.
yeah, he's annoying. But Gakumaru has fighting games in general, in like a forward advancing move in the air or something. Like there's a lot of strange hitbox interactions. And so because Gakumaru's point to bounce, it can be, even though the hitboxes themselves, like on paper, aren't very good, just due to the way the engine handles moving hitboxes, they're very oppressive. And because they're meant to anti-air him, it's just very
Quote
difficult because
unquote meant.
yeah, he just gets in very easily, and he's able to do like really hard to block bounce mix-ups.
Yeah.
I just hate his stupid fucking face when he turns into the
God. That shit. If you haven't seen that, oh my god.
He looks so smug, dude. Like he's excited.
He knows he's fucking top tier. Would you put him above Esk?
I'm gonna say no because Gakumaru, while he has the strengths of those other two characters in good movement and the hard to block mix-ups, his defense is not as good as either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's top tier as fuck, but he's not above those two.
Okay. Grausam. Unsurprisingly to anyone that knows me, but I do enjoy playing Grausam. She's not my main, but
Okay. Grausam she was made to be like an easy character. She wasn't made to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Like even the developers have said that she was made to like kind of try to help new players.
Which is weird because she was DLC, but
yeah. Her routing isn't very specific. She can kind of almost go into the same route from any confirm. And her, like, to execute her mix-ups isn't very hard either. Like, she knocks you down, she throws a ball at you, she glides at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not difficult. But it being easy doesn't mean that she is very great.
It's a classic, like, easy-to-play character.
Yeah, she's an easy-to-play character.
I enjoy playing her.
Japan actually thinks that Grausam is really good because they value consistency.
Yes, yeah, you were telling me about that.
And she's really good at that. She's definitely... You only are required to go into the same couple combos, into the same couple mix-ups. They're very safe, very strong,
very consistent.
Even though they're, like, simple. Mm-hmm. But Japan thinks she's, like, A tier. But I just really don't.
She doesn't have enough that she can even do.
Very, like...
A little predictable.
She doesn't have an air dash. She has a glide instead of an air dash. Right. So against like these high movement characters and these like great neutral characters, she just doesn't stand out that much. I think she's like C tier.
Okay.
No, she's not that bad.
No?
She's B.
Okay.
On to Gruni, I guess.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say about Grausam.
Gruni is like
It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs.
Gruni used to be top tier as fuck. He came out, he was really overtuned.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just the best, and it took all of one patch.
Yeah, the pendulum just swing around the other way.
And now he's kind of dumpster, but not D for dumpster tier, but C for dumpster tier. Mm-hmm. He's small, right? So he doesn't have...
No, he's 12. Okay. Sorry, go on.
What were you about to write?
I was going to change C to come dumpster tier. And then I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah. His offense is great. He's a puppet character. He's always going to have, like, fantastic offense. But his neutral is poo-poo. The like hitboxes on Dari's moves used to be so much better, and so now like everything beats him. He's like, no, Dari, and Dari just fucking keels over and dies half the time. So his neutral isn't that good. None of his air hits like knock down at all. Like He has to have a very clean, grounded hit on you in order to confirm into any worthwhile Darioki.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so difficult for him to get that because his normals are so small with bad hitboxes, and his anti-airs don't even knock down.
I wish I had more to say, but you're talking like at a level above. Like I struggle just to get my head around the negative edge shit because I don't play puppet characters or really, normal fighting games very much. So, but yeah, I'm sure somebody will understand that.
He has a lot of bad matchups.
Oh yeah.
He loses to zoners. He loses to movement characters. He even loses to like he has a random bad match against Euler, which you wouldn't expect, but it's just because like Euler can
You
just
can't do
smash
shit to
through
him.
pretty
Yeah.
much anything Dari does.
Right.
He's fun. He's great. He's a cool character. He's a classic. Gruni's awesome, but he is not
One of the best
awesome.
additions from XB, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But he's just not that good. Too many bad matchups.
Yeah.
Keeps him down.
Mm-hmm.
If he had some tools to help him in neutral, which maybe he'll get in vasectomy, but like
Yeah, maybe. All right. Hyrax, I think he was telling me that there's you actually see a lot of similarities between him and like Dark Horse, right? With the setups with like the guys that he
I like
calls.
to make the comparisons between the guys that he calls and the swords that Dark Horse uses because they're both inherently setup characters. But Hyrax is a little stronger in neutral, where compared to Dark Horse is better at doing like mix-ups upon mix-ups in a row.
Yeah.
Hyrax is definitely more consistent when trying to like get in on the opponent and doesn't have as much reward because it's easier for him to get in.
Yeah.
His summons are just better for neutral, and his homies don't really allow him to mix up that much. Like if you call the guy that the one that jumps, I think his name is Johnny.
Yeah.
But it's not actually an overhead. You're supposed to use that one for mix-ups between like did I throw the guy that slides? Did I throw the guy that jumps? And do I throw them?
Right.
Because if they try to hold up to beat my throw, they're gonna get hit by the slide. But
Yeah.
he also, like Dark Horse, has very long fantastical combos that just seem to go on like forever, and he can like reset you out of any of them until like when you don't expect it to pressure you more.
Yeah.
But he's definitely on the same level as Dark Horse, but for different reasons.
Yeah, it's like a little better kind of neutral and spacing and all that stuff, but the offense is a little
I think Dark Horse is way better. Hyrax is not comparable to like Dark Horse offense or Door offense.
Okay. Would you say top of B maybe? Does that sound
We
good?
can keep him top of B, yeah.
Okay. Ionda, heavily slept on. You've told me this many times. But recently, sort of similar to Blaze Cardio, except she's a lot older of a character. I think people saw her as like, oh, she's an old character. We figured her out. Solved character, yeah. Right? But no, she has a lot going for her that people are only recently starting to show, especially people like Azumanga Daioh out here repping her in Final Climax. But
Ionda is a cold 1/1 character, which means she's only gotten like slight tweaks and she got like a new rune spell in C.z.G, but she's been playing the same game for such a long time. And Ionda was the best character in Cold 1/1.
Yes, yeah.
She never really got nerfed from then. She's only gotten like slight tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
So she hasn't actually been bad. Just people have been either like bored of her, like, not very excited by her. Until fairly recently in C.z.G, where there was a patch that made her jump be hit deeper. So what she can do is there's a technique called F Shiki, which means even if you block a crouching, if you block a move that would normally whip on crouching, if you've recently blocked overhead, a move that would hit you then is still going to like hit you, even though you would be in a position where it would whip. They allowed Ionda to do this on almost every character in the past.
On purpose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know if that's what that was for. They could have made it deeper to be a better jump in, but it wound up being a fucking ridiculous mix-up. Ionda, people are getting woke to this character and being like, damn, she never was bad in the first place. Yeah. And like,
The problem is some of the matchups, right? Like, she's good, but then in an environment where she can't really shine too much because she just doesn't do well against all of the top tiers, right?
She's like, Endo actually put her as like the first character in A tier on his tier list, which honestly I kind of agree with.
Okay.
She's the top of A tier.
Yeah, it's just it's hard. It's hard even for a character that we describe as really good to fucking go toe to toe with these three up here. They're still really dominant.
Yeah, and they all beat Ionda, which is really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Kanon, fucking weird ass character. They have all this DLC for C.z.G. It seems like they're ending off with Door, 1 year anniversary of the game, and then they're like, by the way, there's one more character, and she's completely irrelevant, and she's not coming back in the next game, and she has no connection to anybody, and has, like, weird stance mechanics that no other character really does. Like, what? It feels like she got, like, transplanted from a different game, or something.
Right. Like she's like a prototype for one of their other games or something. But she's like, yeah, Kanon came out during COVID.
Yes.
Which means she did not see any offline play, basically. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to say for anyone to really know how good this character is. She does a lot of things that are strong online. Who knows, she might be like Maniface, where that's actually good offline too.
Yeah. We'll get to fucking Maniface.
She's good. She's a strong character, but she is just not. Nobody really knows how much of it is online.
She's a little bit of a mystery, which is kind of interesting considering, and for the record, when we say she's not in the next game, that's the data mine from the demo. Like, not officially confirmed, but the data mine's almost certainly correct. So I always feel like she's gonna stay something of a mystery, because, like, who the fuck is still gonna play C.z.G after Vasectomy comes out? Because it doesn't have the fucking Z pair that everyone hates. It's new, it's flashy. Like, so Kanon, I feel like, unless she gets added as DLC or something, which is always possible, but I feel like she's just gonna escape into obscurity, which...
Definitely. It's so sad. I hate when I see characters like that. Like, that happened to Answer in GGX pretty much.
Yeah.
It's so sad when a character never even gets a chance, really. Mm-hmm. But for what she's doing, she's pretty good. People have won a couple online tournaments with her. Mm-hmm. So
there is a Kanon at Final Climax. Fucking what's her name?
Yeah, Matsuri. It's Matsuri.
Yeah. So that'll kind of be like her one chance at potentially showing off what she's got. Yeah, pretty solid character.
I would say just because like really Final Climax is going to be one of the only offline tournaments where she gets shown off. So
yeah,
maybe B tier.
Okay. I would say
maybe above Hyrax.
Really? Okay.
She reminds me a lot of Avarice, but slightly better.
Okay. She does have some pretty good throws.
Yeah. Okay, King.
Classic big body.
Yeah, he's a big body, but he had this one move, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the move. It's fucking Mighty Roar, and it's scrubby. It's so scrubby. Yeah. People get scrubbed out by this move all the time. So he just does roar on your wake up, he crushes your guard, and it's like, okay, what do I do? You're supposed to backdash here. And King's entire offense is based around mind gaming roar. If he charges it all the way, your guard crush, he does a combo. Mm-hmm. If he charges it some of the way, he's plus and can keep doing pressure. He doesn't charge it, he's minus. And he can fake it too, like he can start charging and then fake out, then do butt.
If you know what you're doing with the roar though, the rest of his kit's not great. Like, it's not bad.
Roar is still like straight. It is an RPS that you have to play. Like,
yes, yeah.
You still have to guess about how to do it.
Most good characters have like multiple tools. With King, it's like, yeah, use Mighty Roar. and use it well. There was a meme I saw where he's like, I think it was like in a cast or something, like all his arms and legs were like paralyzed, but he was still stuck there roaring, and he still won or something.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Doesn't even
but
have
it's
to
pretty
move.
much all he's got.
Yeah, big body syndrome.
Yeah.
Sita.
Is he better or worse than Gruni?
I don't know.
He's definitely worse than Gruni. At least Gruni has offense when he goes in.
True. Okay. Liska.
Liska's pretty much just like a better Petal Q.
Mm-hmm.
So Liska, her movement is pretty good for the kind of character she is. So she's required to commit less to playing neutral RPS as Petal Q.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes her kind of like... It makes her better. She also has better defensive options than Petal Q. She has her like cool looking like camouflage parry.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But she is still a zoner, which means she has zoner problems.
Which means not being good. Always what it boils down to. No, I'm shit. They can. I mean, not always. I know, but at least in the examples that like you used to play Dulcim and Axel, and I know that they're generally not considered good.
Poopy water characters. I think Dulcim is pretty good in Street Fighter V now, but he wasn't when the game came out, and he wasn't in 4.
Yeah,
and
like Petal Q, she's a pretty classic stretchy limb zoner, like Dulcim.
She's good. Her offense, like most zoners, is not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say she's better than the tier above Petal Q, which is obviously D tier. So I'm gonna say she's B tier, but pretty much a bottom of B tier.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fair.
Grausam is definitely more consistent than she is.
Yeah. Maniface, oh man.
Wait, I think. Hold on.
What are you gonna say?
I think we could probably afford to move Grausam above like Chayne, probably.
Okay.
Just because she has that consistency factor to her.
Yeah, good point. And some actual Z-pair option.
Maniface is interesting, for sure.
Probably the most interesting character. Clickbait title here, but like, I really do think
has this mechanic where you have to start your combos with certain moves or have them move somewhere within a combo to unlock Siggles. And Siggles give him new moves that are usually mostly, there's a couple like weaker ones in there, but mostly they're pretty fucking banging.
When you get to 10, you're just a complete monster and you're gonna win. But that you're also unlikely to get there.
Yeah, it's not. There's actually a lot of times with Maniface where you kill the opponent before you get 10 Siggles.
Right, yeah. That's what I mean. I don't even mean like, oh, you'll die or whatever. It's just you don't even need to go that high. It's kind of overkill.
But he's not that good without it. He can pick a couple moves that he wants to unlock and sometimes work his way through a matchup through it. But there's a lot of characters that just run him over because his neutral, like, he doesn't have much armor. He doesn't have a projectile until he unlocks it.
Yeah.
He doesn't really even have like a plus on block reset move until he unlocks it. But he just gets mauled in some matchups so hard that he can't even get the moves he needs. But when you get to 10 Siggles, you're just unstoppable. He's like...
Speaking of the unlocking, sorry, I saw a meme earlier on one of the Call 1 Discords where it was like... I think it was a mod, actually, where the icon... It was really stupid. The icon was still, like, as if he was a locked character. Which, I mean, he was DLC, so he was never locked, but the idea is, like, even when you have this character... You don't have him unlocked because you need to play and unlock the sigils, and it was stupid, but it made me laugh.
Maniface has the potential to win any matchup. Like, 10 Siggles Bosch versus Maniface is probably in Maniface's favor, but it's just like...
It's not gonna happen.
It's too hard to get there. So, unfortunately, Maniface is pretty bad. I don't know if he's D tier, but he's definitely down there. Either bottom of C or top of D for now.
Let's put him here for now. And spoilers for the data mine, but surprisingly he's not in Vestigial Ekfury. there's like implications that he has connections to the story from what we can tell, but he's just not there, so he might be DLC again, or I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
Oh, fucking we got to tell the story of the legendary netplay Maniface player. So there's
yes.
So there's this player from America. We honestly, there's jokes out there about him being from online and not being from anywhere. So Traffic Cone is this Maniface player. I think he used to play like Gakumaru or something, but he played Maniface online, and he was like the #1 online ranked Maniface. He had a fucking laggy ass connection, probably sitting next to his like router because he thinks the Wi-Fi is good.
Yeah, it's a cam right next to my router. Sorry.
He's definitely a very online player, very tragic, but he's actually
he fucking redeemed. He had a redemption arc. I mean, not really a redemption arc because he never did anything bad, but people did not expect anything of him. They're just like, fucking online player. He fucking showed him up.
He went offline, beat a lot of people, doing the same online strats he was doing before, which apparently are not online strats.
Yeah.
And he qualified for World Finals. And who's he playing against? It's really is it the Korean Clair player?
No, it's the Korean-esque player.
Oh shit. Okay.
Fun story. I actually got matched with Traffic Cone in like unranked one time. He handed my ass to me, but it was fun.
He's so wild with that character. He plays in such a stupid way that's impressive.
You kind of have to, because, like, what else are you gonna do with Maniface? Other than fucking go buck wild. But yeah, fun character.
Yeah. Moving on to Metal U, when he came out, he was top tier as fuck. He was the Bosch of that game, but he wasn't even as good as Bosch.
No, not nearly.
And since then, his C.z.G, he's gotten a couple nerfs, a couple retoolings, which make him...
He's well balanced now. I'm satisfied with him. I even beat him sometimes in, like, at my level.
Like, he's good. He's a great character, fantastic, but he's not unfair.
Yeah.
He's pretty well made at this point.
Yeah. He never really had, like, the difference is Bosch has all these crazy tools. Metal U was just fundamentally good. Like, he didn't have anything too crazy going on, just very, very solid. Whereas Bosch is like, he can do anything, and the movement's crazy. Metal U's movement is not even... Metal U's movement is surprisingly not that insane. Like, it's good, but...
Yeah, it's pretty average. Like, he's not eating himself off the walls and stuff. He's running at you, he's air dashing at you. And he's good at it. He's still a beast. And I think that, funny enough, Japan has been putting Ionda above him, which I can kind of understand. But I think Metal U is absolutely the leader of the tier below the top 3.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He's still very good. It's power creep, basically.
Pretty much. He got power creep. Oh yeah, they're all fucking like other like DLC characters. Okay, yeah, power creep by Bosch. Bosch is the meta, we all know.
Euler, I wish he was better. This dude's great. I love his story mode where he like goes and saves Undulate from fucking Avarice and Hyrax.
Dude, he's such a bro. Euler's such like an adorable sweetheart, and he's got such good energy.
I love Euler. I like playing him. I don't do it. He's not like a main, but sometimes I pick him up just to have some fun as a big body grappler.
They did an amazing job with Euler because like he's one of the only big body grapplers that people don't think are stupid.
Yeah.
And just because he's like so likable, he's not like edgy. He's just like a sweet robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But he has big body problems, which means his defense is bad and his neutral could use some help. It's good. He's got big buttons.
He's also got the oil spill trap things.
Oh yeah. That let him slide a little better.
Yeah.
It helps him sometimes, but he just gets beat by too many like mid range and like top tier.
He can't get it.
He gets beat.
Classic.
He gets beat by movement. He gets beat by zoners. He gets beat by rush down.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for him. And he can definitely be a beast when he gets in, but it's just difficult for him to in a genuine way. He is better than King for sure because his offense is better than King's Roar RPS, but I wish it was better because he's lovable.
Yeah. Okay. Olivia.
So Oliviére, she was the Blaze cardio of Cold 1-2 and Zeronic
Too much
Bypass.
work.
It was a lot of work. Like, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of different ways to like bounce her bombs across the screen and like do setups with them, use the smoke from the explosion on the bomb. But she's a lot of work, and the work just isn't that good.
There's also a lot of like, oh man, look at this shit I did in the lab, and it's like, you're never gonna do that. It's never gonna happen.
Dude, you get all these fucking pictures of Oliviére players online doing the one time they did their bomb trick at a 30. And the one time it worked, and it's like, yes, I got mine. No, she's good. She's a lot of work, and she's not that good, but she's not bad.
Yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder what her future is, because she's like a pseudo classic character. Like you got the original 6, you've got the 3 main new ones from well, actually Claire's a little bit, she wasn't in Zeronic Bypass base game, but yeah, basically the 3 main ones from the 2nd game, and then a couple of the ones from the 3rd game that are kind of, I feel like, form the base roster, or like the main characters, I would say.
Yeah.
So she's good. She's probably going to stick around, and I'm interested to see what they do with her in Vestigial like Free and future games.
Right. Yeah. I hope she like. She's gonna be awesome. I have good feelings about this character.
The little chibi like crewmates in the background cheering her on.
Oh my god, they're so cute. I love every one of them.
Yeah.
I love her like Yuri vibes and shit, dude. It's so cute.
It's really good.
She's good, but she is a lot of work, which like I don't think work affects her tier. So that's she's about right there, maybe above Avarice, below Hyrax. No, she's better than Hyrax.
Okay.
Maybe even better than Kanon, who knows? But Kanon's kind of a wild card, so no one really knows.
True. Okay. Peacock. Pretty good. I like him.
Peacock is like Buster, where they've always been good, but not quite top tier.
Yes, yeah.
And he's kind of the same. He is competitive at mid-range with a lot of characters. He's just good, you know? Like, there's not really a lot to say about him. He's a classic character who's been doing the same thing he's been doing.
Yeah.
I like that he got a new mechanic in Vestigial Egg-Free.
Oh, the evidence thing?
Yeah, it looks really interesting. Because I don't know what it could do, but he did need a little something to like freshen him up, like a lot of the older characters.
Yeah, I think it's good that they added that.
But he's hard to say. He beats Door, beats Bicardio, beats Dark Horse in neutral, but he's probably like right below Buster.
Okay, yeah, fair, since we're making those comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a Peacock? I think there's a Peacock, right? Yeah,
there's
MSG.
I think, yeah, MSG Peacock. No, there's just the one. I thought there was 2 for a
There is
second.
an Oliviére, there's Kofi.
That's an Oliviére.
That's not Oliviére?
Kofi is Oliviére.
That's what I'm saying, there's an Oliviére.
Oh,
Kofi.
okay, yeah. I thought about that.
And for good measure, let's put Poppycock here, because he has a candy cane.
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
he's just Peacock with a candy cane. And he's not in Vestigial Egg Free, because of course he isn't.
Poppycock was like, when they revealed Poppycock for C.z.G, everybody was like, wow. Everyone's here.
Yeah.
What a meme character. But yeah, Petal Q is unfortunate.
I can't believe that the second game had 10 characters, and one of them was a joke, and another one was a joke that was the joke character's fanfic alter ego of one of the other new characters, and is just a clone. What the fuck? There had to be some, like, developer in-joke that caused this. Like, why else would they do that?
That's so sick. I love that. I fucking love Poppycock. But on the Petal Q, Petal Q is really unfortunate because he's just...
You used to play him, right?
I still play Petal Q mostly, but he just sucks. He's a long arm zoner. He has bad risk reward on everything. He may have good neutral. It's risky to play that because his buttons are such risks. And so in C.z.G, they also gave him this little like
the
trap.
Yeah.
Seed trap. When you walk over it,
it blows up on you. And...
it blows up, and it's supposed to help him like cover the ground a little better.
It just doesn't work on some characters at all.
Yeah, some characters just move too fast. Like Bosch, he just holds forwards and walks through your seed trap as it goes up.
Poor fucking Petal Q.
Right, he doesn't really have many winning matchups at all. He beats Euler, he beats King.
Yeah.
He does surprisingly well against Buster, actually.
Okay.
Is there anybody else any weird matchups for Petal Q?
I don't know, I wouldn't know this stuff.
No, he does really well against Dark Horse, too.
Okay. I can see that.
He gets killed when Dark Horse gets in, but Dark Horse's neutral isn't good, so it's like it's fairly easy for Petal Q to manage that. Does well against War too.
Petal Q is what I consider one of the core casts now, even though he was introduced in Zodiac Bypass. So there's still potential for them to do stuff with him, but I'm not super hopeful.
Yeah, he's core character for sure. Petal Q's not going anywhere.
Just out of curiosity, who did you switch to? Who do you mostly play now?
I've been playing a lot of Gruni.
Right, because you've been playing Zato and GG as well.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of puppet characters. I've been playing like Bosch casually, but I'm not gonna main him because I'm not an ass.
Buster, right? You said you were.
I'm playing Buster. I think that if I were to keep playing C.z.G, maybe I would switch from Gruni to like I don't know, maybe Dark Horse. Dark Horse or like Ionda. I feel good about Ionda too. Maybe Metal U. There's a lot for me to potentially play. I'm excited for what they do to him in Vestigial Act Free, but if it's still not good, I'm willing to accept it and move on.
Yeah. Okay. Pock. What is there to say about Pock?
Nothing really.
Joke character, obviously. Fucking weird that they made one of the 6 of the original game a joke character. I kind of love it though. He's iconic.
You know, Pock is iconic. Tumblr loves Pock, dude. But he's just bad on purpose. And he's gotten a couple buffs throughout the series where like
it's
Pock
really
players
random shit though, right?
It is really, really random changes. It makes it feel like the developers don't care. So when when the Pock players open up the patch notes, they're on their knees, like begging for, like, please, can I have some more?
Being a Pock player is just being a masochist, though. Like, come on. He's been around forever. You know what this guy's deal is. Are you really expecting them to do anything about him? Just...
It's a fucking miracle that we mentioned it before, but there is somehow a Pock in World Finals after not doing anything since, like... the first game. How this happened,
I think there was a random weird upset in the second game because of... Was it because of that one patch, or was it...
Dude, the one where they made his fucking, like... his lollipop launcher, both a low and a command throw, as a bug at the same time.
That was it. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I know there was some weird patch, and he was, like... temporarily he was like he had a dream that he was a good character and then he woke up. It's separate from the dream where he was just Peacock, but
that one was Poppycock's dream, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, Poppycock, for those of you that just played the game like just versus mode or whatever and don't give a shit about the story. Poppycock literally does not exist in canon. He's not a real character. He exists solely in Pock's imagination. It's fucking amazing.
It's so good, dude. But Pock is Pock. He has some things that are almost good, and he has some 5-5 matchups.
He has some 5-5s. It's the best you can say.
It's true.
His victory screen is like swag though.
Dude, it is. He takes like a bite out of the candy bar and he's like,
I like the parallels with him like going to the candy store to drown his sorrows instead of like a bar. And you have Lentil giving him the shitty life advice.
I know, dude, great. That's so sick. Pock is awesome, dude, but he sucks. Everybody knows this character sucks.
He is very funny though. I like Pock. I'm glad he exists.
Me too.
Property.
Pock is classic. I wish.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they make him do something eventually, either in the story or as a character.
Yeah, even if they don't make him good, he could do something in the story. Like, come on, story doesn't have to be bound by tears. Anyway,
I know he's got his own little weird like canon going on with like Syruphim, and like
the Awuga scene.
Awuga. Yeah.
Property is my main, and she's a very dumb character. I will admit that. She's brain dead. I mash buttons. Sometimes I win, but she's fun. She feels fun. I like her. And I like her aesthetic too.
She is interesting. She has a cool gimmick that kind of helps her be like a less toxic character. Right?
Yeah.
So she has this mechanic where she has to charge her special moves to give them enhanced properties.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I guess that's why the fuck her name is Property, huh? But it's her. If she
I always figured it was
moves,
property, like the property market or something, or like personal property or something. I don't know. It's a fucking weird name.
Who knows, dude? These weird
fighting games have weird names. Go figure.
But if she had access to her charge special moves without needing to charge them, she'd be toxic. She'd be like.
Oh yeah.
She'd
No,
be
I'm
really.
I'm glad that it's not that fucking, empty skull. Like you have to know what you're doing a little bit. But
She's an empty skull. She has high damage, and she fights a lot of the movement characters and those zoners pretty well.
mm-hmm.
But because sometimes in some matchups she just doesn't get a chance to charge stacks, like against Esk, it's really hard for her to do that. And just because a lot of her moves are counter hit based against Esk, it's like so easy for him to just mash and like be good against her. Property's like strong. She's good, but she has too many problems to be top tier.
Okay, so are we thinking B?
Yeah, she can be top of B.
Okay. I'm thinking no, actually, I was gonna say we might want to spread these out a bit more, but no, I mean this is genuine. It makes sense for A and B to be the biggest tiers.
Right.
Okay, Sagus. Real shame because he's an interesting character, very unique, but not great. I wish he was better.
So Sagus, he has some fantastic moves. Like he has Flame Carpet, he has High Lightning. They're both like really ignorant. Like Flame Carpet does everything. You turn the floor into fucking lava, and they have to block like 12 hits or something, and it lets you do whatever you want. But you have to charge 4 spells, and charging spells is like a commitment. If you charge a spell in neutral, you're doing nothing and just leaving yourself open to.
You have to sacrifice like your opportunity. It's like any other character, you get the knockdown, and you're like, all right, time to go in for a mix-up. Sagus is like, hang on, let me read my book here.
Do my
here we
taxes
go. Here's an orb. Like, and your opponent just gets to sit there and recover for free. But yeah.
Plus, if you don't get your opportunity from whatever spell you charge, you just wasted.
Oh yeah, very you kind of get inherently punished for win. Like your opponent doesn't even have to to punish you. The game punishes you because you're like you get back to a worse position just off the bat. So it's kind of on you to really, really follow your advantages when you open them up.
He's too slow, takes too much setup, doesn't get enough chances to do very well.
Mm-hmm.
He only needs a couple chances to do really well, but he'll never get them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you waste them, he's done. He loses to a lot of characters. He loses to movement. He can get outzoned because he has to charge his fireball first to even use it.
Yeah.
His defense is decent. He's got like a cute little barrier. He's got a DP, but he's bad.
Now because he was important in C.z.G, he's like borderline maybe main cast now because he's in V as well, but I'm not sure about that. It depends on how the story goes. But I could see it.
He's cool.
What do you think? But top of D?
He's bad. He's worse than Petal Q.
He's worse than Petal Q. Okay.
Yeah, because that's almost like the respected bottom three that everybody agrees on. Petal Q, Sagus.
True. Solana.
She's such a good idea, dude.
Yeah, it's a good idea. For those who don't know, she's a grappler, but she's a very unusual one because she has a bunch of attacks that do that poison the opponent and do damage over time, and while they're poisoned, she does more damage to them. So that encourages them to block, and she's a grappler, so you want them to block so she can grab you and do shit. So very interesting idea, but I think they were like, oh, this is too good, so we need to undertune it like crazy, and yeah, so unfortunately not very good. But the idea is solid, and she's not in Vestigial Act 3, but if they bring her back for something, then they could just tune it up a little, and she'd be a very, very interesting, fun character. Sorry,
that's well said. You kind of carried that one. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a grappler whose offense is not inherent, which means that she's not rewarded for as heavily as a grappler would, but she's also not like grappler style. Like, she has movement, she's pretty fast, she's like doesn't have various like RPSy pressure, but she just isn't that good because everything's undertuned. If they turn even if they just tune the numbers up a little bit, she could be really strong.
Yeah, I agree.
She's consistent. She's consistent, which means she's in the tier above those four who are like poor for inconsistency.
Fair.
But she better than Liska, probably. She's not better than Chayne. No way.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a fair place for her. It's funny, I actually haven't really played her very much, but
me neither. She's kind of unpopular. She's like the least used character online or something.
I think that's true, yeah. I want to say next to Sagus.
Dude, people who suck love Sagus.
But she's definitely interesting. Syruphim.
Syruphim is like... She is a joke character, definitely. Like there's other joke characters like Gakumaru and Pock. But like Gakumaru, she's not that bad.
Gakumaru, not that bad.
So Syruphim she has this like annoying ass slowdown move with her like syrup powers and shit.
Ground,
yeah. So if you get that, it makes it harder for the opponent to get in. It makes it harder for them to space accurately. So she has a lot of really skewed matchups. Like she's
actually good against Bosch, right?
Yeah, she's close enough to even with Bosch for some reason. And what's really annoying about that too, what makes her good against Bosch and other characters, is that
they have this really particular spacing.
They do have meticulous spacing, but even on defense, the top two, right? You have like Asket and Gakumaru. They both have moves that go up.
Yeah.
The syrup slows their upwards movement enough for you to trap them more easily.
Okay. Yeah.
The other characters' jumps are also slowed, but because Bosch and Ask move with like special moves, they're slowed down even more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I know what you mean. So yeah,
the same thing happens.
Kind of weird
with,
matchups in that regard, but
the same thing happens with like Clair and Ionda too, because they both are affected by like if they're syrup, then they have to change their combo.
Yes. Yeah. So you kind of obviously you have to learn the matchup anyway, but more there's kind of more
You have
importance
to
on
have
like
Syruphim combos. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So she's really toxic. She's an annoying fucking character. I hate this stupid bitch, and I wish combos would just work on her, like, regardless.
I've never found her that bad when I've like she hasn't stuck out to me in my memory as like being annoying to fight, but it's also been a little while since I played.
Yeah,
played
she's
against her.
she's pretty popular because she's Coomer and people love Coomer characters.
Yeah.
She actually does pretty well against a lot of the high and top tier characters, which like probably should put her up there anyway.
You know some designer was drawing like an angel OC with like fucking cum in their hair, and then someone else walked in. They were like, "What are you drawing?" They're like, new character concept. It's angel of desserts. This is syrup." And they're like, it was just an excuse, and they're like, "That's genius. Let's go with it." And now, forever, they're like, their fucking jerk off picture they drew in their spare time is just a character in the game. I don't know if that actually happened, but I could see it.
I'm really looking at this, and Syruphim does do well against many of the like A and S tier characters.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think
is that enough to put her up there, though?
I think so, because if you do well against Gakumaru and S, you're automatically good.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, A tier?
Yeah, we can put her in A tier and then order it later.
Okay. Taro. I enjoy Taro. He's a cool character.
Taro's hard. Taro's really hard because there's so many different situations that it can arise with him, and you have to be aware of what happens in all of them.
Yeah.
Like from the items he throws to the moves he has, it's all constantly changing, and like even like the properties on the moves that he has is constantly changing. So it takes like a lot of knowledge of that to be able to use him. Not to use him effectively, because to master him. Taro is a very fundamentally strong character. He has worthwhile mix up. His high low is really good.
Mm-hmm.
He has hard RPS that you can play with you because of
very fundamentally strong.
Yeah, he's really good.
You were telling me that a lot of people don't see that, and they're just like, "Oh, Taro, the RNG character, right?" And it's like, yes, he has that, but it's not. You don't want to default to that. It's a tool.
It's like there's a time and place, right?
There's a time. Yeah, exactly. There's a time and place.
You can't overuse it because you might get fucked, and sometimes you might just win. But if you're like using the RNG as much as that, it's not going to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a time and place to be like, oh, is this appropriate place? If this goes badly, what will I do after that? Is it a good idea? Is it safe to do this?
Yeah.
Having knowledge of that and being aware of what comes after that is how you master Taro.
You have to play him smartly.
Yeah, he's like a big brain in J character too. But yeah.
Where is
Endo is like, I think he's towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Endo is like the Taro master. Endo might be like, if we exclude the Bosch players, Endo might very well be the best cold player.
It's possible.
And
yeah.
I think that
you were telling me that you predict grand final to be Toad's Endo, right?
That's like if we're going by like likelihood, then yeah, that's the two favorite picks to win it all, so they're probably gonna play against him. Endo is like, I think that he's probably fundamentally better than C.z.G, but C.z.G plays Bosch, so
yeah, good point. He's kind of carried by his character a little
that's
bit.
pretty good. If you're like, you're definitely playing the long game. You have to think so far in the future with Taro.
Yes,
and I think that means he is work, but he's not bad at all. I think he's definitely
worth it. A tier, right?
Probably above Poppycock.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
He's kind of sad because he's one of the dopest characters in the story, but he's like...
Yeah. Oh man, I actually cried in the first game ending scene.
Dude, it was so sad, dude. He was just so happy to have helped and done anything important.
He's like, my records indicate that your parents' love for you was very strong.
This is so sad, dude. But Anjali, in terms of gameplay, he's like a really standard character. He's not very exciting. He's like a relic of the first game, and
Yeah.
those guys need like some touch-ups for the most part, just to keep them like flashy. You don't need to change their kit, but do things that keep them like visually fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Anjali has always been very okay. He's
See,
never
I've
been
just heard that he sucks. Like, do you feel
really
like people judge him a little too harshly?
He's like low mid, which means he sucks in the context of everything.
Okay,
but
fair. So, would you say bottom of B or top of C?
He's worse than Liska for sure. Top of C maybe.
Okay. Right. Other than that, not really much to say. I mean, a classic zoner, not in the stretchy arm sense, but in like the, disjoints.
Yeah, like disjoints, long
like the water blasts and stuff.
Fireballs, yeah.
Okay,
but
so
I guess we should order this within tier now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna compare this to. Hold on, I'll give you the link to Endo's latest tier list.
Okay, sure.
So Endo actually only has 2 characters in top 3. He has Bosch and he has Gakumaru. For some reason, he just doesn't think that. Maybe he values damage, and that's why Esk is in with
maybe
like regular S tier with Ionda door.
It's a Ionda door.
Door really high, dude.
Yeah. Metayu, Esker. What's that one?
Esk,
Buma?
Bird, Peacock.
Oh, no. Okay.
Sorry.
I can't fucking read kanji.
Yeah,
I like how he has letters for S plus S, B, C, and then he has Z instead of D or F, and he just has the Japanese A. I know why that happened, but
he actually, like, see right here, we can see in A tier it's Buster, Tenshi, Mamono, and Mamono is supposed to represent Grausam. Japan thinks that she's like extremely valuable.
Yeah,
Dark Horse, Filter, Blaze Cardio, Hyrax, Taro. It's not too far off from ours.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of it is going to be. We're looking at the same information set here. It's just what you value and what you think is important. This is a really random thing to mention, but when I first heard about tier lists when I was like 10 years old, I thought that they were like objectively calculated from frame data and matchup information. Like you just plugged in like tournament results and the character info into some kind of program someone wrote, and it would just spit out a tier list, or at least a ranking.
That's fine.
Anyway.
But like, okay. So that is kind of a thing. Tournament results do factor into like a character.
There's always going to be an element of subjectivity to what you think is important and how much you value the potential of a character that hasn't fully been realized yet as well, right?
Right. And there's quite a few of those in Cold One. Like only recently are we seeing Blaze Cardio being pretty up there.
Yeah. Ionda, obviously, like you mentioned.
I guess we should order this within tiers now.
Yeah. S tier is fine as it is, I think.
I think S tier is fine. I think bottom tier is fine. C tier. I'm
not sure that Maniface is worse than King.
I don't think so. Maniface has better RPS than Mighty Roar in first place. Like even without signs. Is he better than Euler?
That's a tough one.
Because Euler has a lot of Maniface's strengths without peaking as high, but also not going as low.
Yeah, and you don't have to work for them.
Yeah, they have similar problems, right? Before Maniface can get started, he can't get in very well, and neither can Euler. This is a really tough call. Putting Maniface wherever is hard to say, just because he peaks so high and he can win any matchup. But I think
we have one Maniface and one Euler in Grand Final. I don't know if we mentioned the Euler.
No, we didn't at all. It's just show Euler, classic grappler player, plays grapplers every game. I think that Euler's probably better than Maniface just because he's more consistent.
That's true. Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that Gruni's better than Euler.
Yes, I would agree, and I think that Undulate's better than Gruni.
Yeah, Undulate's more consistent.
Yeah, it's consistency again.
And Liska is a lot. It's like she does what Undulate does, like but with longer pokes, better movement.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a fireball, and that's like the big difference here, because there's a big difference between poking with your arm with a hurt box on it and fire.
But again, she has the surprisingly good movement despite being a Zona. So
Solana is
not better than Chayne.
She's not better than Chayne, but she's better than Liska, I think.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. Grausam.
Chayne. I think Grausam's better than Avarice.
Okay. Is it that consistency again?
Yeah, it's about consistency. She does better in more matchups than Avarice does.
Yeah.
She's probably better than Hyrax too, just because her mix-up is like high-low left-right instead of strike-throw. Like,
of course, being kind of modified from. I mean, she plays very differently to Property. She's almost like an inverse, but it's like half of it is the opposite and half of it is similar with her.
Right.
So it makes sense for them to be relatively close together, I feel.
Better than Oliviére. I don't think so. Because Oliviére, even though like people think of a hard character and think they suck, right? But Oliviére doesn't suck. She's just hard and very average. Yeah. Like she has effectively the same mix-up as Grausam's knock you down, put the ball on you, but she does it with a bomb and she gets smoke and it's invisible.
If you take away the work, then this is where she's at.
Yeah. Better than Kanon. Probably.
Again, kind of a wild card. We could put her up here with Property. I'm satisfied with that.
No, I meant no. Oliviére is definitely better than Grausam.
Oh, okay. You meant Oliviére better than Kanon?
I'm not sure because I don't know much about Kanon.
Yeah, she's a bit much of a wild card. I guess maybe until Kanon proves herself, we can put.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oliviére up here.
Property. Oliviére is not better than Property. Property gets in too easily. She's too rewarded for playing her own game.
Okay.
She doesn't have to do the same work, but to the next year. I think it's funny how we have all the angels next to each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good point. Huh. Okay. That said, I don't know if Syruphim belongs quite here or Door. It's a tough call. Because all these are great characters. Anyone from SNA, good character. Maybe not healthy. Some of them might be toxic, Syruphim, but all good, all like viable, I think.
No, definitely. All of these characters can, like, everybody, even from B tier, could probably win a turn.
True.
Like, everybody, like, we have
Property
every one of those characters in B tier in finals, I think. We have Liska, we have, actually, we don't have Solana, but
right.
Maybe she's a little bit worse.
And like I said,
but I don't think, Syruphim better than Door. It's hard to say because Door gets cucked by she loses to a lot of A tiers when Syruphim doesn't. Syruphim or Door is like even against Blaze Cardio, wins against Dark Horse, loses to Peacock, loses to Buster, loses to Taro, loses to Metal U. So I think Syruphim's better than Door.
Okay. Because
she just
that's
does
crazy.
better. Like, yeah.
I mean, like, because in canon, it obviously makes no sense because Door's like, fucking, what is she like? I don't remember how they describe it in C.z.G, but
the fucking gatekeeper of this alternate dimension or something.
Yeah, something. She's definitely senior to Syruphim and Property, and them alone are supposed to be more powerful than any normal person or, anything on Earth, but it's a fighting game, whatever.
Syruphim better than Blaze Cardio. This one's tough
I think she's more consistent. And I think that will bump her up.
Dude, it's just that she does so well against these top tier characters.
Yeah.
She's
And she was actually slept on for a bit because people kind of dismissed her out of hand as like Kuma character, and then only in the past only really funnily enough only after the pandemic, so people have not really gotten a chance to do this offline if I'm not mistaken, but
yeah. And there's no Seraphims in World Final.
Yeah.
I think we can say she's better than Blaze Cardio.
Okay. Better than Dark Horse, though? I'm not sure.
This one's tough. Okay, because like her syrup power doesn't really matter against Dark Horse. He's just shit in neutral anyway. And his defense is pretty bad anyway.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to say because Dark Horse's offense is just so like oppressive. Dark Horse can beat anybody just because his offense is that good.
He can be anyway.
Let's see who Dark Horse wins against. Syruphim wins against. Dark Horse beats Taro, beats Clair. Even with the Ionda, loses to Metal U.
Does he beat Buster?
No, I think he loses to Buster. But that's the thing, right? Dark Horse
Buster
is way better.
Neutral, to be fair, yeah.
Dark Horse is like, it's about like who they beat at this point. Like in like the bottom, the like lower ones. I think Dark Horse.
We could argue about this all day.
Yeah, I think it's probably safe to keep Dark Horse above Syruphim.
Mm-hmm.
Peacock and Poppycock better than Taro? Definitely not. Taro peaks higher.
Yeah.
Taro and Buster.
I think Buster's better.
Buster's more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Buster's also good at the things that Taro is good at and doesn't need to like work around RNG.
Mm-hmm. Buster Clair I'm not sure about.
Buster Clair is difficult. Buster beats Clair, but I think Clair does better against more characters than Buster does.
That's fair.
Clair,
it's very close though.
Buster can do well in scrambles because he shits out damage, and Clair is very particular and loses in like a lot of like unsure situations.
Mm-hmm.
So Buster beats her, but Clair still has like fucked up monster Oki. So
she's a Rekka character as well, right? Which
yeah, she's like she even has air Rekkas too. It's kind of wild, but Clair is better than Buster, I think.
Okay. And then I'm satisfied with everything beyond that, Ionda, Metal U. If you are.
I'm kind of torn on Clair over Ionda.
Oh, okay. You think so?
But I think that, yeah, maybe. No, this is fine. Ionda's better.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this list.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it too.
Is there anybody that you would want to like shift from the end of one tier to the other end of the next? Like, should Liska maybe go top of C or something?
If anything, because the gap between other characters and Bosch is closing, maybe move Metal U up, but ooh. I don't think so. He's not as ridiculous as those other ones. No, yeah, this is good, I think.
Okay. Alright. So just to round this out, we're going to have a look at Final Climax, the bracket, and maybe make some predictions about how it'll go. So we have C.z.G and NB. It's going to be a blow-up. Like, no one's...
Yeah, it's great. Poor NB. Put on a good show. Do your best. I always believed in you.
He's being a good sport about it as well. What did he say? He was like, well, I fucked around too much. Accidentally going to top 32. Whoops.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah, he knows. He's like, yeah, that's so sad. I didn't even think about it that way. He's like, well, I shouldn't be here, but I am.
It's so cool that they're holding it in Bangkok as well. 'Cause
Dude,
like,
it's so sick. It's
'cause, like,
thematic.
Thailand
They
is
even
where
have like the fucking
one's
king
from.
mural, dude.
Yeah. And the trophy, which looks like Mr. Island's wine glass from Vestigial Like Free.
Dude, the wine that comes with it, gotta have it cold, dude. It's awesome.
It's so sick.
Okay, so C.z.G's taking it free over it. And
Yes.
Meta combo Manifest Z. Manifest Z doesn't have a lot of experience against Japanese players, and playing them is an entirely different beast. But he's also the Blaze Cardio. Japan doesn't like that character right now.
It's too inconsistent. Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows how this could go? This one could go either way, but I think it's slightly meta combo favor.
That's fair. XP Grey and Shoebuster. That's a classic. I love that there's a fucking Chain Buster in here. Fucking bro training matchup.
It's such like a lore matchup, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a fun matchup to watch.
Oh yeah. I think there was an interview where they said that when they made the first two characters, they spent like 2 weeks just having everybody play Chain V Buster over and over, like in the first game, like playing Chain V Buster over and over until it was like they fine-tuned the fun into that match, and they're like, we can use this philosophy to apply to the rest of the characters or something. I think it was something like that.
No, that's sick, dude. It's classic. Everybody loves to see this matchup. It's
Yeah.
fun. People are gonna have a good time with it. But it's so XP Grey has been doing work ever since Chain came out. But
Ever since
Shoe
Chain
Bu-
came out. You mean since the first game?
Yeah, since the first game.
Okay.
And Shoebuster's basically been doing the same thing, but he lives in Japan. But XP Grey has been traveling long enough to where he does beat Japanese players, and so this one could go either way. So
Yeah.
good for him. It'd be exciting to see Grey win against Shoe, but
Yeah.
you know,
Shu definitely has the advantage here, but the matchup itself is just so fun, so.
yeah.
Um,
Kusanagi, the Mexican property player. Yeah.
you know,
From what I know
this
of
guy
this-
sits next to the router.
On his like Elcom Castillo.
If you're playing
No,
online,
Kusanagi,
please get an
yeah.
Ethernet cable. Anyway, there's been a PSA.
So these are two extremely online characters.
Oh yes, yeah.
This is gonna be like the two Donkey Kongs sitting at their PC mashing buttons. They're out here smacking down B to do 100-man melee, dude. They're like, that's what this is gonna be like. But, from what I see of this, they're both like flinging like stance, like guard points at each other. They're both flinging armor at each other. It's roughly even, but I think due to Kanon's like range, she does have like slight neutral advantage over property. She's a little bit smaller, a little bit faster too, so she's harder to combo.
Yeah. I don't know
That
much
one,
about this
I think-
matchup. No one does, because no one knows shit about Kanon.
Kusanagi is an established player who has done a lot in a lot of different games.
Yeah.
And Monster pretty much started with Cold One. So I would say that maybe Kusanagi might win, but who knows?
I would like to see Matsuri do well, if only just for Kanon, like just to see her get info, just see what she does in the tournament.
Right.
Just purely for data purposes.
Shrapnel and Yo Mama. Shrapnel's the fucking biggest shit talker. He's like the highest seeded American in the tournament. He's like, yo, see my motherfucking Gruni.
He got his account got suspended again yesterday.
What did he do this time? Did he make a joke about the players of the Nickelodeon game?
Maybe? I don't know.
He's such a shit talker, dude. And it's like, he's such a villain,
doesn't
right?
even-
But his Gruni...
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
so,
he's a classic heel, right?
yeah, he's such a villain, but like, his Gruni's
Can
actually
back it
fucking
up.
ridiculous. Yeah. He
And
wins
I think
a lot.
that's important for a heel, is you gotta be able to back it up.
Kind of is that way.
Mhm.
And his Gruni's a beast. He's the highest seeded not Japanese player in the tournament. He's
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
best
Been
American, I think.
making the most of Gruni. Like the fucking like Shrapnel used to go to tournaments and downplay, like he would like Photoshop Gruni's hat onto pictures of sad dogs and pass them around to the javelin.
Your Mom I don't know much about. I don't think they have a Twitter, right? They're like one of the more mysterious. Am I confusing them with someone else?
No, that sounds right. Your Mama's like not very active on social media. He's most active on Etsy actually because he does like.
Oh really?
He's a painter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's actually it's good stuff that he has, but he's also like the best American Gakumaru.
Okay.
And like this matchup is like very far in Gakumaru's favor just because his neutral is so dominant against Gruni's tiny buttons and how easy it
Shrapnel
is.
is really good.
Yeah, Shrapnel's extremely good. That could go either way. Shrapnel's been pushing Gruni's limits lately. He might win that one.
Yeah. I still would say Yo Mama probably will win though.
Yeah, probably.
Azumanga Daioh, classic username.
That guy's awesome. He used to trip on 2chan B as Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah, you told me about that. And Yonda's a great character, as we established. Avarice is not as good. He's not bad. Kazunoko is like, you said he might be the best fighting game player in the world just because of his versatility, right?
He is. He has like the best record of any fighting game player. He does well in every game he plays. It doesn't matter what he's playing. He'll probably qualify for World Finals in it.
And you also said he picks up a character in the first version he plays and never drops them. So he picked up Gravis in Cold 1-1, and then when he just stopped playing for Cold 1-2, and then, you know, when Gravis
So Kazunoko, this year he hasn't been focusing on Cold 1. He's been playing Dragon Ball, but he always enters it at like as like his secondary or third tournaments at whatever thing he's at. Yeah. And he wound up doing well enough to qualify for World Finals. So here he is, multi-game specialist Kazunoko versus Azumanga Daioh. He's a more specialized Ionda Cold 1 player.
I'm interested in seeing this matchup. I mean, I'm gonna watch the whole tournament anyway, but maybe not the whole tournament. The final 32. I'm not gonna watch the random like. Fucking.
What's up?
Huh?
What's up?
I was just saying I'm gonna watch this top 32 here. I think they have side games. I'm not gonna watch all of that shit, but I'm gonna watch all the matches here.
Yeah, that one I think it could be interesting because Avarice Ionda is 5-5, but it's also a Cold 1 specialist versus Kazunoko, which shouldn't downplay Kazunoko. It's kind of like that match is interesting because it's kind of like it's like the place to show that Cold 1 players are the best at their game rather than like anyone who can just jump in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see Azumanga Daioh win that one.
Yeah, it should be fun. MSG. I don't know much about this person either. Manhattan's funny.
MSG is like the best Peacock player,
okay.
And he goes to like a lot of tournaments, and he does very well, very consistent in almost every tournament. Either gets top 8 or close to it. He's one of the better players. He's like, if you think of Cold 1 players, MSG is probably one of the first ones that most people think of. Versus Maniface.
I know his name. I just didn't know much about him.
Who is the like number? He's the only Russian in this tournament. Yeah. And he's also one of the 5 Bosches. So he's got to flex. He's got to flex his like mastery of this character for anyone to care about his player, because like people are gonna get attached to the fact that he's like the only Russian in the tournament. See if he does well and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, so I just checked the other tournament details. I don't know why I was thinking there was more than this. The only other thing they're running is Cold 1-1 as just like a 10-year anniversary like joke thing. I might watch a bit of that.
Oh, that's cute. They'll have Avarice or Gravis, like I said that game, doing infinite Zaldias. Like...
Yeah. I don't know why I thought there was other shit. Obviously, it's the fucking finals of C.z.G. Of course, there's no other shit going on. But no, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Anyway.
But MSG is one of the GOATs. And for like a foreigner to challenge one of the GOATs, it's going to be a tough ride, even if he's playing Bosch.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
MSG, I think, will probably win that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and people will cheer for it because they'll be like, "Oh yeah, someone beating Bosch." I feel a little bad for Manhoku, but he picked Bosch, so...
He knew what he was getting into. Maruku and Kay, this is gonna be straight Donkey Kong Country, dude. Like, neither of these characters, neither of them are like good and neutral. They just try to get in and run their fucking like banana slam to each other.
Yeah. Kay is really funny.
Kay is like a treasure. More people need to like be funny like Kay.
Yeah, I watch his streams occasionally, and he's just so naturally funny.
We'll see. We'll see if, according to him, the worst character in the game, Dark Horse, can beat Door.
Yeah.
Door. This is like. I think this matchup is technically Door favored because even though they run each other over, Door has better defense than Dark Horse does.
Yeah, true.
And it's also Japanese player, but Kay has beat a lot of Japanese players. Kay is one of the better Americans at fighting Japan, so that one could really go either way.
Yeah. Fucking Hashi, classic player there. Been around
Hashi,
for a while. Since,
player lover, player fanatic.
Did he play the first game before Clair? Or did he?
He didn't. He didn't play the first game.
He just got interested in.
Oh my god, Vampire Wife.
Yeah.
That's why he plays fucking Eliza in Tekken 2. She's a vampire mom. But
I think he also plays Rachel in BlazBlue, right?
Yeah, he loves vampires. But he's like Hashi, even above Tekito, or Biroko, I guess. Even above Biroko, he got the second seed. Hashi's been slaying. Hashi's the only person, one of two people this season to be able to beat Totsuji.
Yeah.
It's Hashi and Endo are the only ones that have taken a set off of Totsuji this season.
Okay.
So he's a very strong pick to win, which makes it really unfortunate for Zepino, who is like he's a South American Metal U player.
There are no other Brazilians in this tournament, right? Yeah.
No, there's not. He's the only one. There are no Clair players that are good outside of Japan. So he's kind of stuck. He doesn't have a lot of people to practice with that are as good as Hashi. Nobody has a Clair that's as good as him, but you know, there's like
if he wants to do it over net play, then he's got fucking Brazil net to worry about.
Yeah, poor guy. I want to see him do well because he's like he's not a Dark Horse, he's a Metal U, but he's the only Brazilian, the only South American, so it'd be cool to see him do well.
Yeah. And to his credit, I don't think he actually even played Metal U in XB. I think he picked him up during, or at least he did it like near the end, right?
Zepino used to be an Avarice player.
Yeah. So it's not like he picked up Metal U when he was broken and was like, I'll stick with this character. Like he always waited until he was fair. Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He has honor.
Mucho Lizard, dude. Straight honor family.
Kufi. I think I've seen them in tournament before.
Kufi is like the European that travels the most. For like comes to America the most. So Kufi will show up at some random California tournament. And Europe thinks Oliviére is really good, and that's because of Kufi. Kufi's like the beast of Europe. Kufi, along with like only recently Manifest Z, are like the goats of European Cold One. And he's cool. He's dope. He's a fun player to watch because you get to see like the best of the best Oliviére. Even Japan doesn't have Olivières as good as he is.
Yeah. I can't think of
Which makes it interesting because Japan doesn't have this character. Like
they don't know the matchup.
They don't know it as much as Kufi does.
Yeah.
Against Sho, who is a Japanese grappler player. Plays grapplers every game. Playing Euler in this game too.
I want to see him do well just because I love Euler.
Kufi Peacock. I think he'll beat Euler. Or Sho.
Kufi Oliviére will beat.
Yeah, Kufi Oliviére will beat Sho. Because, like I said, they don't have that character in Japan. he's not ready. It's a bad matchup already for Whaler. It's
True,
like
true,
6-4
true.
over Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's got everything going against him, but hopefully he does well and loses.
Right.
Because I want to see Euler do well.
It'd also be cool to see Kofi do well, you know, because, like, you know,
Yeah, true.
one of the Europeans.
It's always hard to have multiple darlings. Oh well. Numinoko, obviously classically the best Metal U player, I think.
Yeah, not really. He's one of the ones that stuck with Metal U after the nerfs, just kept doing it. He has a passion for that character, thinks he's really cool.
That's fair, I can respect that as well.
I like his color. He plays the black and orange Metal U that makes him look like a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, yeah, I think I've... I like that one.
Just gay porn up, man. So,
Stupid
Numinoko, Metal U demolishes, like, well, not demolishes Liska. It's pretty even-ish. But Metal U does a lot of the things Liska does better. It's not in terms of literal reach on his buttons, but he has projectiles that could play the same kind of game and help him get in.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear Numinoko.
Numinoko probably better. Endo Concho champion. I think Endo will win. I think
This duo played a lot.
Too good.
Endo wins almost all the time.
But I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say something about Contra being a fellow property player, but it's not like I really have anything in common with the pros. But
no, dude, y'all all do the fucking enhanced shield bash over and over again. It doesn't matter. Like, I can't even tell a good property apart from a bad one.
Fair point. But yeah, Endo will probably take that one. I don't know much about
the Bosch mirror. Oh, Contra Champion is just like, it's a Japanese player who doesn't travel, but it's really good. So everybody underrates them, and then they fight Americans and beat the fuck out of them.
Okay. And then we have the fucking memed on Bosch mirror match here.
It's so funny. Who even cares how this one goes?
I have a prediction that this will be the one where the most people get up to go to the bathroom or get a drink or something.
Like the Twitch viewership just cuts in half during that. Like, yeah, we'll come back to it later. These two trade sets a lot too, so it doesn't really matter. Who knows? Who knows how this one goes? It's a Bosch coming out on top either way.
Yeah. Traffic Cone, as I mentioned, we talked a little bit about him when we were talking about Maniface. Unfortunately, he's probably not going to do too well against Ask. It's a rough matchup for him.
It's rough. It's a Korean-esque, too.
Yeah.
Like, low-key, Korea has the best Ask player, and it's Armor. I couldn't tell you why. I think it's because Korea can net play with Japan reliably.
Good point. Yeah.
And, you know, they have their own scene there. Ask is a fucking champion, dude. Like, he's a troll.
I'm surprised is there another Esk?
No, there's only the one Ask.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's only one Gaku. Oh, no, there's two Gakus, because it's Jason Wang. Yeah.
He's like, so, he streams a lot. And so English viewers come in to his stream to ask him how to block S better, and he's like, get better, block better.
Lamau.
And followed by Dorfin, Korean Clair.
You were saying that there's no good Clairs outside of Japan, but Dorfin is 6 in the...
No, yeah, Dorfin's like, I guess I should have said like Eastern Asia, but...
Okay.
Dorfin, pretty much the other Clair. You think of Clair players, you think of Pocky, then you think of Dorfin.
There are these two, that is it.
Him and Armor are like training partners. They like win a lot of tournaments when they travel. They always go with each other to tournaments.
There's a good chance they'll go up against each other in 28.
Yeah, that's possible. Unfortunately, fortunate that they got a team kill themselves instead of being on the other map. Versus we got a Vietnamese Bosch player who qualified by going to every tournament and doing mediocre.
Oh yeah, yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah, I mean, Dolphin's winning this one, even though high fighting is Bosch.
High fighting's a good player, but he spammed tournaments.
Respect to him for his dedication, if nothing else.
And then somehow we got the two Chinese players against each other.
Chayne
There's
versus
a second Chayne. That's cool.
Yeah, this matchup is 5-5. Choi Boy and Jason Wang. They also like obviously they're both Chinese, so they played a lot. Jason Wang usually winds up on top, but Choi Boy can pull out upsets sometimes. Like in the last first of 10 they played, Choi Boy took it like 10-7 or something.
Okay, yeah.
So that one could go either way, you know.
Yeah. So a lot of interesting matches here. A couple of them are obvious, but there's some interesting stuff here, and I really do look forward to seeing how this goes. I think it will be fun. So yeah, I don't know the players as well as you do, so I think C.z.G Endo Grand Final is probably a good
Likely,
shout.
but let's take a look. Who's other candidates that we have? First off, the most obvious one, we got NB in Grand Final.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you live in the timeline where that happens, somebody's making a lot of money.
There's someone out there that's like... Someone out there is probably putting a big bet on NB just for shits and giggles.
Meta Combo could do it. Just because, well, no, what's his path? He has C.z.G and Shoebuster on his side.
Shrapnel, Azumanga Daioh, Kazunoko.
Yeah, Meta Combo. He has to beat everyone else on that side of the bracket. Well, not everyone else, because that's not how a bracket works, but he has some really strong players on his side, but I think it's possible he could wind up in Grand Finals. Manifest C, you'd love to see it, but he has such a hard path. There's too many great... There's like a lot of the GOATs here, and he has to beat at least one of them to like get into Grand Final.
Yeah.
Like, we got Shu, C.z.G, you got Endo, and you got Numinoko. They're like some of the fucking GOATs, dude. Like,
Numinoko, I forgot that one, yeah. Either of the other Japanese Bosches have some chance.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if you're gonna beat C.z.G's Bosch, you can't beat him at his own game though. I almost feel like even though Biroko is good, for example, and plays Bosch.
No, you're not beating C.z.G in the Bosch mirror.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's gotta be someone else. So I don't know. We'll be watching live.
Shoebuster could do it. Shoebuster, I think he could do it. If he's having a good day. Usually he loses to like some of the other top tiers, but he could do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Kazunoko could just be Kazunoko and win tournaments for games he doesn't play.
Arma-esque.
I'd love to see. I think Traffic Cone in Grand Finals would be like the fucking best. Like,
that would be sick.
That would be one of the best like timelines that could possibly happen. No, like, look, it's Endo and Traffic Cone on the same side. That match is going to be legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, if Traffic Cone doesn't get washed, it's like an even matchup. That's going to be like ridiculously good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Alrighty, and that's tomorrow actually. World Finals is tomorrow.
Is it? No, it's Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow's. I thought today was Thursday for some reason. Okay, cool. We take that. But it's on Friday.
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to Vestigial Egg Free. When that comes out, maybe not immediately, but maybe shortly after, we could make like a launch tier list or something. I don't know. This was a lot of work. We could also maybe just do like a brief video just giving our thoughts on the new characters or something like that.
Right.
Not necessarily a tier list, but yeah, if you guys like this video, then feel free to let me know and chat Cold One with me. I enjoy this game a lot. Thanks for joining me for this, Melody.
Right, of course. We talk about the game every day anyway.
Yeah, true. I'll put a link to your Twitter in the description. So everyone can see your cool takes, your hot takes on
takes about Viking and Clair.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.